Hey everyone, in today's video, I'm going to be showing you how to overcome and handle failure in your coaching business. By the way, subscribe to my channel if you love videos just like this. We release new ones every single week. What's up, everybody? My name is Armin Shaffi, and I built a multi-six-figure life coaching business with clients around the world. And now I teach other coaches how to grow and scale their business so they can also make an impact as well. Now, if you've ever hit a huge brick wall in your business, or maybe got discouraged, or really just had a huge, miserable failure, then this video is for you, okay? Now, let me tell you quickly, real quick, why I decided to make this video. First of all, this is one of the lesson videos inside of my Speaking to Clients program for the coaches I work with. Because when we go after our dreams in life and after growing something in a business, it requires failure. So I actually have an entire lesson on this in my program for the coaches I work with on how to overcome failure if it happens, how to handle it, and a lot of other stuff as well. So I'm actually going to be sharing this publicly now. That this is what I give to my paid clients. I'm going to share it publicly with you. And I'm also going to tell you why I created a lesson like this, because over a year ago, I also started, I made a decision to go from live events, seminar business, coaching and live events, very much Tony Robbins style, and I wanted to go online. And so I try to do it all on my own, okay? Here's what happened. I went out and spent 3 to 4 months of my own life trying to guess my way of what I should do. And I'm like, well, I read Russell Brunson's book. I read all the other guys' books. I watched all the webinars. I recorded the webinars, and I funnel hacked their funnels. And then I built my whole webinar on my own and my own presentation based off their slides. And I was trying to just funnel hack my way through it. And I actually did end up getting a webinar created, a funnel done. I spent like $10,000 on video production just to get course videos done for my online course and online coaching, training and business. I spent like a lot, like I'm not even underestimating this. I'm not exaggerating. It was like 16 to 18 hours a day, sometimes all-nighters in my office, just sitting down working on my webinar because I didn't know it takes so long to build it, especially when you don't know what you're doing. You kind of just guess your way through it instead of someone just giving you a template to do it. So I sat there for like 3 months. I went through this blitz. I had a goal. I'm like, I'm going to launch in 3 months on this day. And so we built everything. I put the training up, everything. And I go out and did my first webinar. Now, I had no idea how to do like online marketing, like advertising. I had events that came from organic and whatever. So I tried to do the same thing. I'm like, let me just do organic. And I wanted to get 100, 200 people registered for this webinar. And I was going to launch and sell this $2,000 program online. And I went out and I got like 30 people on the webinar, okay? A lot of them were people that already bought my seminars. So they got on and I'm like, man, I'm going to make like 15 to 20 sales. We're going to do like 50K in sales. I was just so confident in myself. And then I did the webinar with like no sleep, no food in my system, having not gone home, not showered. Like that's how much work it took when I was trying to guess my way through it. And I did the webinar, and at the end of it, I made an offer and 2 people bought. 2 people only. At $1,000, sorry, not even 2, $1,000. So I made back 20%, or not even 10% of all the money I had spent and the time I'd spent, that's more important, on this launch. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, what did I do wrong? Everything looks exactly like Russell and all these big guys. What did I do wrong? And it was funny because I said on my encore webinar. So I did it the next week. 20 people got on, not 30. And I got 1 sale. Got worse. I'm like, at least I'm making money. I had a positive attitude. I'm like, at least I'm making money. 3rd week comes. 12 people got on. Nobody bought anything. I'm like, I must be doing something wrong here. But you know what? I'm going to figure it out. Persistence. 4th week of that month, I go live. 3 people got on. They were my staff. Nobody showed up, guys. I was sitting there so defeated. I had hit this huge, miserable failure. I was a little humiliated because I had this whole hype build up in my mind and with my team and everybody. And I was like promoting it on my social media. So everyone's like, Armin's going to do something big. And my strategy was wrong. My thinking was wrong. My approach was wrong. Everything was wrong. I didn't know that till later when I paid a lot of money to learn from people that have done this properly. And I remember sitting there. I was so discouraged. So what happens when you get discouraged? You start procrastinating on doing things in your business. So I start procrastinating. I start wanting to watch like a little bit of Netflix and, hang out, sleep in a little more and go to bed earlier and like leave my office earlier. I started to kind of internally and subconsciously sabotage my business because I was not confident in my ability to do this online thing anymore. And this went on for months, guys. I even went to a depression. And my depression caused me to like go through a terrible phase. I felt like I was falling through midair with nothing to hold on to every single day I woke up. And I actually thought tomorrow was gonna be worse than today. And it's because I was so embarrassed from the failure. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to pivot. And I realized, I'm like, man, is saving a little bit of money that I could have paid someone to teach me how to do this was worth all this? Was it worth it? What did I say, 5, 10, maybe 20 grand to join some mastermind of some people? And I had some money at that time, by the way. So it's like, I just wanted to save it. I just thought smart enough. I'm like, well, I could save the money and do it myself. Why would I pay someone? And that costed me more than just not making money. It cost me a lot of things, peace of mind, stress, anxiety, like it was terrible. So I got over myself and I'm like, you know what? Let me just go learn from someone who's done it. What makes me think I could do this if I've never done it? And that's when I went and I figured everything. I paid a lot of money, guys. I actually took a leap of faith. I took all the money I had and put it into programs that were expensive as hell. And I went and I realized I did everything wrong. And you know what? Fast forward to today. I'm like, we're doing 5, 6-figure months. Like, I'm so excited about my coaching business with clients around the world. I'm happy. I can't believe I even waited that long to get the people that are experts to teach me what to do. So that's why I'm making this video. And that's why I give this to my clients in the program, because I realize when you're going after something in life, you're going to face this thing called failure. And a lot of coaches, they don't even get to learning the marketing and the coaching and joining the programs to learn this because they don't even get past the first couple failures. So let's talk about how to overcome and handle failure in your coaching business with the first point. The first point of what you need to understand is that it's not personal. It's not personal, guys. You got to relax. A lot of people, coaches in business, when they fail, they take it personal. They go, it's me. People don't like me. Imagine, I remember sitting there, I'm like, why didn't no one join my webinar? Why didn't no one buy? I'm like, is it me? Is it how I sound? Is it the offer? Do people not like me? And that happens. You start doubting yourself. You're like, no, I'm taking this personal. It's a me problem. Not my marketing's wrong, not the webinar's wrong, not the offer sucks, not the audience just doesn't want to buy because the wrong audience on the webinar. It's no, it's me. And this is the first thing I want to bring your attention to. No, it's not. Relax. It's almost never personal. In fact, in my seminars I teach, nothing is personal. Everyone has their own reason of doing something. It's not about you. So in business, when you feel, guys, it's not personal, relax. Like, it's okay. It's just the business thing. It's not about you. You don't suck. You're not a bad coach now because you couldn't sell somebody. You're not a bad coach because you failed. Okay? Like, you got to relax. Simple little concept to live with. But you want to succeed in business, you got to make sure you don't take things personal. Because when you go out there and put yourself out there, marketing, advertising, start talking, doing presentations, closing clients, you're going to get reviews. You're going to get feedback. You're going to get the people that love you and the people that don't love you at all. And that's a part of the game. If you're not okay with that because you take everything personal, you won't make it. You got to understand it's not personal, okay? It's not about you. It's about the strategy. It's about the people. That's why failure happens. It's for you to learn. And we'll go over other steps here, all the things I've learned in my business and how to overcome this. Now, first is it's not personal. Second one is an important one. Pay very close attention. You need to get over yourself, okay? Here's what I mean. First of all, it's not personal. It's not about you. But the second step to that is get over yourself. What do you think? You're the only person in the world that failed? Everybody fails. Every person virtually in their life fails at something at some point. There is not one human yet I've met in this vast majority of billions of people of this world that have never failed. So reinstate your own logical mind and emotional mind for a second. Reinstate your intelligence and go, oh, wait, everybody fails. Oh, like, it's good. So it's not a personal thing. It's just because my approach was wrong, so I got to change it. But also, I got to get over myself. Like, what am I going to have my own pity party? Like, I had a pity party. Like, when I'm talking to you on this video right now, guys, I'm talking to myself back then, okay? Like, this is what I was going through. Like, get over yourself, Armin. Everybody fails. What are you, special? You thought you're the only person in the world that goes and tries to build an entire online business they've never done all on their own, do webinars and funnel hack, and then they fail? I'm like, no, majority of people do. Almost everyone does, actually, because that's not the way to do it, okay? Get over yourself. Move on. It's okay. Let's go to what's the next step? Okay, so first two couple simple concepts. It's not personal and get over yourself, okay? Now, here is the third one. which is failure always comes before success. And the reverse is even easier to understand. No success ever came before failure. No success. Nothing. So when you look at it, you go, oh, he's right. Like the only way I'll ever succeed is if I fail my way there. There's a very really good interview with Mark Zuckerberg, CEO of Facebook, and they said, what's your philosophy behind failing? He goes, oh, fail fast. They go, what do you mean? He goes, well, you have to fail anyways. It's inevitable. You can't ever grow something or learn from, get good at something without failing and learning from that, right? He goes, so our entire motto at Facebook is fail fast. Keep failing as fast as possible. In fact, the more failures we get faster is better because we improve faster and better. So you got to understand, overcoming and handling failure in your business, you got to understand there's a natural law here that's working beyond you, which is that you need to fail to succeed. It never, like, tell me one person in your life right now that you know that has become successful and had failed after. Like never failed before. It's impossible, guys. In fact, the most inspiring stories we see of people making it are the ones that had terrible failures and then made it. Right? So you got to understand, if you're going to be doing anything in life, you're going to have to fail. So move on. Get over yourself. It's not personal. Move on. You get what I'm saying, guys? Simple little concepts, just to look at it differently. You go, oh, get it. Now our armor's right. I'm going to move on. Now also remember this. Like if you want to avoid failing, then do nothing. Because no person did something in this world that never failed. So if you want to never fail, it's simple. I actually can show you how to avoid failure forever. Eliminate it. Just do nothing. And in that case, you are in and of itself failure anyways. So just understand it's a part of the journey. Does that make sense, guys? So the fourth thing here is simple. It's that failure is just data. That's all it is. Just data. You're looking at failure as this like whole ceremony of your life and how now you're a terrible person. Everything is about you being this terrible failure. Relax. No, it's data. It's just data. What do I mean by that? Look at Thomas Edison, okay? Thomas Edison is known in interviews and in history to have failed 10,000 times in his attempt to invent the light bulb. And when they sat him down in the interview, they go, Mr. Edison, how are you okay? Or how did you handle failing 10,000 times on, your project of inventing the incandescent light bulb? And he goes, what are you talking about? I didn't fail 10,000 times. I found 10,000 different ways to not invent a light bulb. That one little interview, that one little quote that he says has changed the perspective of millions of people in this world, and I want it to change yours. We got to learn from the incredible human beings in our history. And learning from Thomas, just in this one little thing, will change your life forever. Your coaching business, you're only going to learn from failing. Because when you fail, you get data. You get feedback. Oh, that didn't work. Any type of failure. Failure in leading your own team. Failure in helping your client. So they might be like, I don't feel like this was worth my money. That seems like a failure, right? Well, ask them, what happened? Why? This is data for you. You get to improve. What did you want? To start something and just get perfectly done the first time? That's a boring story. Would you read that book? How I Became Successful with Zero Issues. Would you read that book? Chapter 1, I just did it. Chapter 2, I have everything now. That would be a terrible book. What is the most inspiring stories we ever hear? The ones who went through trial and tribulation, the failures. Because those people learn how to take failure and turn it into data they can use. In fact, I remember watching a Tony Robbins video years ago, 5 years ago, when I was starting in my journey of personal growth. And I remember he said this thing, I'm like, damn, this is such a good way to look at failure. He goes, failure doesn't exist. So results do. There is no failure, there's only results. He goes, and failure is just the result that you don't want. I'm like, oh, that's so true. Failure is just the result you didn't want. It's still a result. You were successful at producing that failure, right? You still went out. Like I went through 3-4 months of my life and successfully failed at my online business. Like that was a successful attempt. We got somewhere. I got some results that sucked. So I learned, and that got me, I'm like, I got to just pay someone to teach me. That's way more valuable than me trying to figure it out to save a few bucks, right? So I got over it. My data from my failure got me to change. Now I'm living the life I wanted to, especially with everything going on in the world. I don't have to do a seminar anymore. Boom, online, getting clients around the world, right? Because of the failure, the data helped me. So you got to look at failure as data. You got to become intelligent. I remember there was another interview with Kobe Bryant on Valuetainment. And he's asking, he's like, Kobe, he goes, how do you handle failing on the court? He's like, I remember I watched you in this one game where you literally hit 3-4 air balls in a row. He goes, how do you handle that? There's a whole crowd watching. They're watching you. It's all like you, and you miss such an embarrassing thing. He goes, I don't care. He goes, I don't care what anyone thinks of me. So I don't look at failure and take it personally. It doesn't matter. He goes, you know what I did? He goes, when the game finished, he went and looked at the tape, the recording, the video of the game. And he watched himself and he started analyzing the data of why he failed. He's like, why was I getting air balls? And he realized his legs, when he looked at the shot, he goes, it was really straight, it was accurate. The alignment to the net was perfect. He goes, but they were falling short. And then he realized, he goes, he understands what the problem was. This is early in his career. He goes, I played really well in college basketball. And that was against people that were athletically and physically not as advanced as NBA players. So he goes, when my legs, the strength of my legs were really sufficient for college basketball with half the time in game, and it was just less difficult. So I was a good shooter, but my legs weren't trained to play at an NBA level with back-to-back games, back-to-back against another team. So they would go a week, play 4 games back-to-back, right? He goes, I just realized my legs aren't strong enough. So what did he do that season? He went and he trained on his legs. And he did a whole different leg workout, and he strengthened his legs. You know what happened? Next season, boom, 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 boom. Three-pointer, three-pointer, three-pointer. Why? Because he realized from the data of his failure, hey, I just got to get stronger legs, and then I'll hit every single shot. And that's exactly what happened. So when he looked back in the interview, he goes, I don't care what people think when I fail. I look at it as, why did I fail? How do I fix it? Move on. That's one of the keys as well to overcoming failure. Now, the next thing here, guys, is simple, okay? If you have big goals in life, if you have big goals, then failure is necessary. Why is failure necessary? Because it involves risk. If you have a big goal in life or big goals in your business, okay, it's going to require you to take a lot of risk. And guess what risk includes? Lots of failure. The whole point of risk is you don't know. So there's a probability of how much you fail and succeed. Does that make sense? So if you have big goals in life, you're going to have to take risk. No one did anything big without risking something. Nobody. So if you're already committing, I got to take some risks. And then you got to realize that including in the package of risk I'm about to take on, there is lots of failure. Because the whole point of risking is to find out what works. So you can't achieve anything big in life without risk, and risk you can't do without being okay with failure. It's necessary to the probability of what works. And guess what? You know what's funny? Here's another good example. I'm using a lot of athletic examples today. I like this. In baseball, did you know that the millionaire players, millionaire contract baseball players, for them to get a 7-figure contract to play for a team in the Major League Baseball, out of 7 shots or out of 10 hits, okay, or out of 10 pitches, one or the other, I think it's out of 10 hits, they only have to get 3, just 3, to be worth $1 million. Why? Because 3 is a home run. They hit every single one, hit it out the park. They can miss out of 10 shots, 10 swings, they can miss 7 of them and still be worth $1 million in MLB. Think about that for a moment. It's a lot of risk, guys. Probability. They got a big goal. I want to play in the MLB or NBL, one or the other, right? MLB, NBL, Major League Baseball. I don't even watch this stuff, believe it or not. I just remember interviewers talking about this. Well, they're going to take some risk. Every time they go to swing for that ball, boom, they miss. They miss. They only got to hit it 3 times, though, for them to be worth $1 million contract. So in your coaching business, you're going to swing a lot because you have big goals. You're going to try lots of things. You're going to take all the money you made in 1 month and maybe reinvest all of it again. You're going to want to do things you've never tried. It's in a zone you've never been to. The risk there requires you to fail 70% of the time minimum for the baseball player, right? But only 30% of the time he has to be right. to be worth $1 million. So in your business, you don't need to get it right every time. Failure is okay. You just got to get it once right, just right once. And that one offer right, that one presentation right, that one ad right, that one whatever right, makes you $1 million in business. Does that make sense? So big goals require risk, and risk includes failure. Now, the next thing I want to talk to you about is use the time you dwell on the failure, okay? Use the time you're dwelling on the failure to fix it instead. Now, here's what I mean. I remember I was in high school basketball. I was a terrible player. I was a bench warmer. Okay, I was in 9th grade. I never got played. I played for maybe 5 minutes. But in scrimmage, in our practice games, I played a lot because they just wanted someone to, I guess I was tall. Okay. I remember one time I was really nervous. I really wanted to be on this team. And this coach of mine, I looked up to him. And one time I got the ball passed to me and I went up and I missed the most easiest layup ever. Like I literally went like this and it literally just hit the board and fall off. And everybody sprinted to the other side for defense on my team. And I stood there and I was under the net for just maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And I'm like, I'm sitting there, I'm like, shit. And I'm just beating myself up. And my coach looks at me, yells at me, he's like, Armin, get to the other side. I'm like, oh, okay. And I ran. After that game, I remember he came up to me and he said, Armin, he's like, the time, he's like, it's okay to mess up. But the time you spend dwelling on the mess up is the time you could have spent fixing it. He goes, you want to be good at this? He's like, when you miss a layup or when you miss a shot or when you mess up, he goes, don't even spend another second dwelling on the failure you just did. He said, go to the other side, make up for it. When he told me that, I'm like, okay. In the next practice run, guess what I did? I did miss a couple things. I did. I was not that good. But as soon as I did, I remember what he said. I'm like, okay, don't dwell on the failure. Use it to fix it. And I ran to the back. I was the first one to the other side. And I would block the ball. I'd get some rebounds. And I made my team win because of that. I realized the time I spend dwelling on the failure is literally a waste because it could be used in fixing it, just like Kobe Bryant did with his legs. So you got to understand, you got to repurpose the time you spend on dwelling on crap and put it into good use so you fix it. And your business is very key because you don't want to waste any time. Time is a valuable commodity. Now, the 7th thing I want to talk to you about is that you don't need validation, okay? Now, there's a deeper psychology of why I'm saying this one, because a lot of people get hung up on their failures because they were doing it for the wrong reasons. They were going at something for the wrong reasons. They were hoping for recognition, some type of validation or approval from others, from friends, from family, from the market, that they're great. And when you do it for that reason, when you fail, it's like the end of the world. Because essentially you just lost everything you worked for. Because now you can't even fix it. And that kind of thinking, you can't even fix that because you already failed. It's embarrassing. How are you going to come back from it? If you start working in your coaching business as a person who doesn't need anyone's validation, doesn't need anyone to tell them they're great, doesn't need the results, doesn't need the money, doesn't need the business, doesn't need the influence or the brand to know they're great, they just know they're great, then you're immune to failure. You're immune to the side effects of failure is what I'm trying to say. So what I really want to tell you here is operate your business in a way where you don't care about what others think about you. You don't care about what anyone thinks about you. You don't care about anything. All you care about is service, in that you keep going and going and going until you get the result. So you don't need validation to feel good about yourself. Therefore, if you don't care, failure doesn't matter to you. It's just another thing that happened, just like success will. Does that make sense? So you don't need validation. And the last thing here, guys, is I've kind of said this in multiple ways, but I want to sum it up. Failure is necessary, okay? I'm going to end it off with a quote that Michael Jordan said of why this is true. Failure is necessary for you to succeed in life. There is, like, if you were hoping, like, you might be dwelling on, maybe you're failing right now and you're watching this, maybe you're failing or failed, right? Or you're afraid of failure and you're watching this and it's relieving you. You might be sitting there like, oh my God. Just remember this. You might still be hoping that there is a reality where you can go after something you want in your coaching business, grow it and do something without ever experiencing failure. There might be a small part of you that hasn't realized that's completely impossible. And I want to make sure right now on this video, we put an end to that thought because that doesn't exist. There is no reality where you will succeed as a coach in your business without failing. It's necessary. So I'm going to end it off with a quote that Michael Jordan said. Michael Jordan was interviewed and said, how have you become the greatest of all time in basketball? How'd you do it? He goes, I'm successful because I failed more than anyone else. Because he was willing to fail more than anyone else, and he did, and he improved faster than anyone else because he used the data. He didn't slow it down. It was a fuel for him. He's more successful than anyone else because he's failed more than anyone else. So guys, if you're watching this video right now, you're going, man, this was some good stuff. If you like this kind of content, by the way, subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. But look, maybe you're watching this and you're either about to build your business, you're thinking about it, and the headline caught your attention. Maybe you're in it right now and you're just struggling a bit. Like you're not getting enough money, enough clients, enough this, enough that. Maybe you're a little uncertain like I was when I started and had this whole realization, I got to teach people this. Maybe you're doing great and you're just worried like what's going to happen when this happens. And this video helped out. Well, under any of those scenarios, if you're watching this video and you feel like I could really help you out with growing this business, because this is just one part of SGC that we give the entire business marketing system, everything to you, and we show you how to set it all up so it scales to consistent 5 to 6 figure monthly business, then I want you to book a call. Use the link provided with this video. Go ahead and book a call. Check out our training, our free training we have, so you understand what my method is and how it works, but go ahead and book a call with my team. Let us talk to you about your business. How can we take failure and literally repurpose it to make you successful? If you're interested in growing and scaling your own high-ticket online coaching business, then I want you to book a call with my team. Book a call in my office and let us talk with you, okay? Click the link provided in the video, book a call, or the link at the end of this video to book a call. And we'll get on the phone. We'll see if it's a right fit between you and us, and if the program is a fit for you, if it works for us, if we can see ourselves helping you grow. And then we'll show you what that looks like if you want to work with us. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm really hoping that some of these ideas stick in your mind forever, even in your life, not just in business. And until I see you in the next video, go on and make the rest of your day the best of your day.